The Incredible Hulk. So like we said, we are getting you guys ready for Thor Ragnarok, and of course in that movie is The Incredible Hulk. So we thought, why not review The Incredible Hulk and get you guys ready for that? Of course, we are going to be going to spoilers. If for some reason you have not seen The Incredible Hulk, watch it. There are going to be spoilers on this, so definitely watch it before you check out this video. The Incredible Hulk is directed by Transporter director and Transporter 2 director Louis Leterrier. I hope I did not say that wrong. If I did, I apologize, Louis. We're good friends, by the way, me and Louis. I thought he was an interesting choice for this. He has a real understanding of action, and I feel like he does have a pretty good understanding of the character of Bruce Banner. And I just love how we start off the film with that opening montage, and we get to see kind of, you know, how he's exposed to gamma radiation, what's going on, how it's not related to the Ang Lee 2003 Hulk film. And I just like seeing, again, the torment that this man is going through, and all he wants is a cure from being the Hulk, what he feels is a sickness and a disease. And all he wants to do is be with his love, Betty Ross. And I feel it's a very interesting and tormenting story. And this is, in my opinion, a very underrated MCU film.
Oh, yeah, I like it a lot. And I think the way they did it was perfect about how in the intro credits is how they kind of showed you everything that happened with the experiments and all that. Like, just get that out of the way. Just kind of, in the credits, and then as soon as the movie starts, he's already been, and we have to go into him becoming the Hulk, like he's already just been that. So I thought that was really well done the way they did that.
Just in that little montage, you completely understand what's going on with Bruce Banner and what's going on in the story, what he's done to Betty Ross, why he's on the run, why he wants to cure himself. Like, it does a really good job of kind of painting the picture for the rest of the film.
And they throw little Easter eggs in there too, like they talk about Nick Fury and a couple other things, Stark Industries.
Right.
So
this is definitely not one of my favorite MCU movies, but I definitely feel it's very underrated. And I gotta say too, this is no disrespect to Mark Ruffalo. I think he's very good as Bruce Banner, and I also like the look of his Hulk too a lot. I like Edward Norton a lot more as Bruce Banner, and also I like the look that it's got the Dale Keown look from the comics. I really like that Incredible Hulk look, because he's more darker, he's grittier, he's more like he's got that like I said in the grittiness. He uses freaking car as boxing gloves. Like,
that doesn't have to do with his look. That's just a sick.
No, I agree. The personality traits I feel are a little different with this Hulk, even though it's the same Hulk.
I definitely agree about Banner. Like, I feel like Edward Norton is a perfect Bruce Banner. Kind of just timid a little bit, but still very focused. And where Ruffalo's is a much more comedic. And I mean, he still does a great job too, and I like him a lot. He's a great actor too, but Edward Norton is just so good.
And by the way, too, I gotta say, I really wish they didn't abandon the whole Betty Ross storyline, because
she's good.
Yeah, no, and I know a lot of people do not like her in this role and don't think she's very good. I personally disagree, but I respect your opinion if you think she's a very bad Betty Ross. I think their chemistry together is so fantastic, and again, the emotional weight that is pulled into in their story that you feel from them, and how they're both willing to do whatever it takes. To be with each other, and also if that's what he really wants to cure him, and also too the fact that they're both scientists. Whenever you hear them and they're talking, like, it's just very clever dialogue, and you feel like they really are scientists, and it's very interesting. And again, they just pull you in, and you're really invested in these characters, which, like I just said, I don't know why they've kind of abandoned the Betty Ross. I hope at some point, I really hope she's in Avengers Part 3 or Infinity War or number 4. I kind of heard a rumor that she might be. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I really hope that at some point she's back in it, because again, I know they went with the whole Black Widow storyline with them being in a relationship, which I didn't mind. They're on a team. It kind of makes sense, but it's like, what about that?
She's hot.
And she is. She's very hot. I understand. I get where he's coming from. Like, but I just like, I want to see him and Betty Ross again. I really am in awe of that relationship, and it's one of the better relationships in my opinion in the MCU. It's one of the ones I feel myself a lot really invested in. So I hope they go back to Betty Ross at some point, because I really like Liv Tyler in the role.
And I really liked her dynamic with General Ross too. I thought they had a lot of very emotional scenes, especially like when they're out in the college and she's like yelling at him. She's like, "I know you're in there," and she just screams like, "Dad, get out!" And like, that dynamic was very powerful, I thought, and then the whole when they're in the helicopter and stuff too. But I agree. I don't know why they kind of just ditched her. A lot of things in this movie they ditched Samuel Stearns.
Yes, we're gonna get to that.
He'll
definitely
come back later.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, I hope. I agree. I think that'd be perfect for after Thanos, the leader. So, just getting back to what you said, you made a great point. The dynamic between William Hurt as General Thunderbolt Ross and Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, it's really good. The chemistry, the sense of history that they have, that they really are father and daughter, and just like the way you see he's not trying to displease her, but he's doing what he thinks is best. At the same point, he still has that love. Like, I love that emotional exchange we get where she says, "You made him a fugitive. Don't ever speak to me again as your daughter." It's because you're my daughter. You're not in cuffs. Like, it's a really emotional, like you said, emotional scene, and just the dynamic, like how he's behaving, like his motivations are very clear, and it's just, again, you find yourself really invested in that relationship. And again, the Russo brothers did bring General Ross back, or I believe he was the defensive secretary. I could be wrong, but I do have faith in the Russos to hopefully bring back Betty Ross at some point. Let's really quickly talk about Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky. I think Tim Roth is one of the best character actors and one of the most underrated actors we have working today. Watch him in Reservoir Dogs and even in Planet of the Apes. That movie sucks. The Tim Burton one, of course, I'm talking about. He's very good in that as the villain, but that movie sucks. But point is, he's a very good actor, and I'm not saying he gives a terrible performance here. Not at all. He gives an okay performance. I just didn't buy him as like the character of Emil Blonsky. He's this Russian career. He's got these Russian skills, this Euro like spy guy, and he gives off a level of fear that I never ever felt that Tim Roth ever gave when I saw him. And I get it, it's hard to give off a level of fear when you got a movie with the Incredible Hulk. How can a freaking human give some kind of level of fear? I don't mean in that sense. I just mean from a sense of when people look at this guy like, I don't want to mess with this dude. Like, I never got that sense of the feeling with Tim Roth. Some of his lines and the way he came off, it just came off as kind of like more of a Napoleon jerk type, as opposed to like being this quiet, stealthy, being full of fear kind of guy that he was in the comic books. And I feel like Daniel Craig or even Vinnie Jones, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! I feel like one of those two actors, I really feel like
definitely not Vinnie Jones.
I feel like Daniel Craig probably the most, but I feel like one of those two actors could have gotten the physicality more of this character, and maybe even, again, like I said, not a bad performance. I just felt a lot, he was coming off more whiny jerky in some moments than, how he wants the power and all, but I understood his motivations. I thought the character was written in a way that made me say, yeah, he's a really cool villain. He's not, I don't give him in that category of, bad MCU villains like people say that the MCU has.
See, I'm not comparing him to anything. I didn't read the Hulk comics. I haven't seen any of the Hulk animated movies. But from what I saw in this movie, I thought Tim Roth was great. Especially the scenes when he's like out on the field running as fast as hell, like just going up to the Hulk like he wants more. I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue. He's more very reserved, but like I liked him a lot. I think he's even one of my top, I won't say top 5, but maybe up there, man. I like Tim Roth a lot. We can agree to disagree on this one.
We will agree to disagree.
I do think the scene where he's actually Abomination and the Hulk are fighting.
That's one of the best action sequences in any MCU film for sure. Which in Harlem, by the way, Carl Lucas, aka Luke Cage's hometown. I feel like it's a battle that's not really talked about anymore.
So sick, especially when he takes the car and he's like using it as boxing gloves. So
that thing is sick. And then watching them fight on the building, and then again the emotional weight you feel in the scene, because ultimately you see the conveyance on even the Hulk's face when after they've kind of gone down with the helicopter. You see Abomination goes, and then Hulk gives the.
Yeah, he's like doesn't want to fight, but he knows he has to.
Yeah, but it's more of I have to protect Betty and I have to do what I have to do now because But again, I like seeing that emotional side of Hulk, and that's why I just get so much more pulled to this Hulk than a little bit more of Mark Ruffalo's. There's something about this Hulk, like the look and the way he behaves that it's just my favorite one personally, and I still love the Mark Ruffalo Hulk. That one's still really cool, but just there's something about this one. But again, that action sequence, the emotional weight you feel in that sequence, how you really feel like Hulk is like being beaten the shit out of. Yeah. What I also like in that too is you see that Abomination is clearly stronger and more powerful, but Hulk when he gets mad and locks in and he focuses and takes it to 10. That's when you see the eyes get even greener, like after Abomination's brought in, like, and then he brings the hand up and then like headbutts him and then shoves him in, like. Everything in that moment, just the way, like, the visceral look you see in his eyes, how green they get, how angry. I want more of that. I think Louis Leterrier just really understands the Hulk. Again, that's why I feel this movie is really underrated. He just really understands how to work the Hulk cinematically and also how to work Bruce Banner and to balance them both out to the point where you feel emotional conveyance for both sides of the character. Let's talk a little bit about the action sequence. I believe it's Culver University. I could be wrong, but Culver University, which we do, by the way, get to see at the end of Iron Man 2. So we know it's set in the same way because Tony Stark is flipping through some S.H.I.E.L.D. notes, and you see in the background on the TV, and we see the battle. I believe it's Jack McGee and Jim Wilson, the two students who were filming it. So you see that the footage is being watched by Tony Stark, so we know it's in the same week as Thor as well. But what's great about that action sequence, you see like how how Ross's big thing. Obviously, he's trying to capture the Hulk, but at the same time, he's trying to show Betty why he's a monster. And like,
now she'll see.
Yeah, and I love how again when they got the sonic booms on. Oh, first of all, we got to talk about when he just kicks freaking Emil Blonsky out of the way into the tree.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, is that all you got? Like later, dude. Boom! I remember I always laughed so hard when he kicks him out of the. But it's like it works really well. Like it's not. That was funny, but it didn't work. It really, like, it comes off comedic, but it also works in the...
But I love seeing him just, like, out... Because that's when he's finally gotten some of the serum in him now, too. And he's just outrunning everybody, and he's, like, jumping up all around and doing flips and shit. Yeah. I thought that scene was sick.
Oh, yeah, no, there were some great moves. I think I liked the most the sonic boom sequence where it started hitting him, and then you see, like, he's... Like, it possibly could be killing him just from the noise and how loud it is to him. But I think I love, the most... I know we use this a lot, which you're going to hear us use in many more reviews, the emotional conveyance and weight that we feel from Betty Ross, when she's saying, "Oh, please stop, you're killing him!" And then when you hear her voice, that makes Hulk focus and just take it up, like we said, to 10, and then he's able to just throw the door at the military car, and then he's able to jump onto the other one. Really good. And then again, a more emotional weight that you feel in the scene is when Ross says, "Fire, damn it!" And then you see that Liv Tyler's there. He's like, "Stop firing!" And then when she thinks she dies, he's like, "No!" Yeah. Again, the emotional weight, it's a great action sequence, but the emotional weight and dramatic tension you feel in the scene from all the amazing actors' performances and also what's going on plot-wise, it just adds so much more satisfaction to the action that's already the amazing the incredible action. See what I did there? The incredible action that we got going on in this scene. So I love what they did here, and again, the dialogue in this film is very sharp, really well done by Zach Penn, and I believe Edward Norton did a major rewrite in this film as well.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously wants to play Bruce in a very, very good way. If he feels some of his lines aren't written right, he's going to rewrite them.
Yeah. And if you're going to get a guy to rewrite, you get the guy who did American History X. You get him to rewrite your script.
Yeah.
I think, too, what I really love about William Hurt, it's his sense of like that Captain Ahab style to Moby Dick, where he is just obsessed with capturing and stopping the Hulk. And just again, William Hurt just does such a great job of conveying in his face that obsession. And I love that tumultuous like gestures that he's got, and the way he just comes off angry too, and just how he's bound to get this done. It's just he does a great job in my opinion. So I really enjoy William Hurt in this role. We gotta talk about the music in this by Craig Armstrong. This is one of the most underrated movie scores ever, in my opinion, but one of the best MCU scores ever. And like I just said, it's one of my favorite movie scores ever. I love the music in this film. It's classical, it's heroic, it's sentimental, it's very well done. The themes he gives Hulk, the themes he gives Betty and Bruce Banner, I just love the music in the background. Again, how it just conveys exactly how you're supposed to feel with what we see on their face, and it just fits so well into the music that you hear that I'm not gonna lie, I find myself listening to the soundtrack to this without the movie many times whenever I rewatch this movie. It's just that good, and I really hope that Craig Armstrong at some point comes back to the MCU, because I think this is one of the most overlooked movie scores ever, especially in the MCU. Yeah,
it definitely adds a lot to the film, just so much emotional weight, and just certain scenes, it just gives that extra little kick that they need just to feel good.
All right, so now we're getting into our favorite quotes from The Incredible Hulk. My personal favorite is a very direct quote. One of the 6 lines we get from The Incredible Hulk himself. I believe it is Lou Ferrigno doing the voice. If I'm wrong, make me look like Charles Barkley in the comment section like a dumbass, and please correct me. The line is, "Leave me alone." I just love how direct it is, because it's a mantra of even Bruce Banner. He just wants to be left alone, just wants to find a cure, and even the Hulk feels the same way. I don't want to hurt you. Please leave me alone. Now he's forcing these guys are forcing him to kill him. So I love how direct that line is. It just really hit me in a dramatic way. That quote from the Hulk.
I don't remember the exact quote, but I remember like when he's kind of explaining to her she asked him, "What is it like when you become the Hulk?"
Yeah, he's like, it's like being an overdrive or something.
And she's like, "But it's still you in there." And he's like, "No, it's not me. It's someone else." So they're setting in stone that like the Hulk is another personality. It's not Banner, and the Hulk is not Banner really.
But that he is somewhere in there. And
he's in there, but the Hulk is his own person.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I love that whole scene. It really does explain a lot about this and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk when you actually think about it. So yeah. I do like that scene. That again, it just adds to more of that chemistry between them, and that buying into her being a scientist when with sharp quotes of dialogue like that. You're like, she actually is a scientist. Like I buy her and believe her. Now getting to the score of the Incredible Hulk. I think this film is very underrated, especially in the MCU. It's got very good direction and great chemistry between the two leads, Edward Norton and Liv Tyler. They are so good together. It's got a very emotional and human depth story in it, where you see this man tormented. It's got great visuals, great action sequences, and one of the most underrated music scores ever by Craig Armstrong. And the cinematography in this film is really well done, especially when they're on location in Mexico and in Brazil and some of the and on the Culver University, and then during the fight sequences when they're moving from location to location. Like, the cinematography is really well done in this picture, and I think this picture has very well done, very good sharp dialogue, and also it has a very good pace to it. I'm gonna give the Incredible Hulk an 8.7 out of 10.
I'm gonna give the movie an 8. I really like this one. It kind of feels different. I think I said it earlier. It feels different than all the other MCU movies for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it just does. But I think it works really well. I think the movie is carried by its acting. Edward Norton, obviously great. Liv Tyler, and what's his name as General Ross?
William Hurt.
Yes, they're all very good. Emil Blonsky, you might not like him as much, but I thought Tim Roth did a pretty good job.
He's a great actor.
I mean, the Hulk is kind of a different beast than all the rest of the Avengers, so they had to approach it a little differently. And the action, the way they did the Hulk action scenes, I thought were really cool in like big open settings. And then the final fight in Harlem was great. One of the better like final
Where's Luke
fights.
Cage?
He's in the background somewhere.
Right?
Maybe he's not powerful yet.
He's not. Yeah, I was gonna say, even if he is powerful, I don't think he's gonna last in the fight between those two.
Yeah. Well, if anyone else could, it probably was him or Thor.
No, you're right. But I was gonna say, if Iron Fist can punch him with his fist, I think I think Hulk and Abomination.
But he's the immortal Iron Fist. But his parents died in a plane crash.
I'm the immortal Iron Fist. Danny Rand.
Anyways, I liked it a lot. Edward Norton, really good. I'm
Really
kind of
good.
sad that I would have just loved to see Edward Norton and Tony Stark.
Oh, I agree.
That's all I really wanted to see.
I agree.
But maybe in another universe. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments section. We are going to be reviewing Thor and Thor 2, getting ready for Thor Ragnarok. So
Convince
if you
him
look up for those.
of Planet Hulk, guys.
Yeah. If more than 5 people say in the comments that we should do Planet Hulk, then we'll do it.
All right. It's
5
on you.
people. That's all we need.
It's on you guys if you want us to do a Planet Hulk review.
But if you guys like this video, you can hit the subscribe button.
See you guys next time.